So, today I'm going to be telling you about The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. This is, as most all of you probably know by now, the first book in the Raven Cycle series, and most recently Maggie Stiefvater came out with Call Down the Hawk, which just came through as a library loan for me 2 days ago. So, after I finish this video, I will be reading that, and you'll be seeing my video review of that after I get through the video reviews of all the rest of the books, which are back there. So, let's get started. This is, I think, not have any spoilers in it, but it's definitely, like, intensive. I'm gonna be doing quotes and shit, so if you haven't read it and you don't want to be like, you want to go in blind, go read it, and then come back to me, and then we can have a little chat about it. But Blue is the YA female protagonist that I wrote in my head when I was a little kid, and that I wanted so badly, but I never dreamed that I would get to see her. She is the perfect amount of quirky, but like not in a Mary Sue sort of way. She's perfectly like complex and multifaceted and flawed, and I want to be her best friend, and I want to be her. There's this line in the very beginning. She wasn't interested in telling other people's futures. She was interested in going out and finding her own. And I just love that so much. It's just spectacular. You know what else is spectacular is the whole rest of this book. This book has some of the most beautiful writing, just absolutely enchanting, like of any YA that I've ever read ever. We have lines like, Henrietta looked like a place where magic could happen, or if his B&W was shark-like, it had learned how from him. April days in Henrietta were quite often fair, tender things, coaxing sleeping trees to bud and love-mad ladybugs to beat against window panes. Tell me that isn't just like the most incredible thing you've ever heard. Stiefvater just has this pretty much unparalleled ability to just create characters that feel so visceral and real, and painting settings that are like your hometown. You know them so well, and you just feel like you could step into them, and that these characters are your next door neighbors, people you know, people you love. I love this series so much, guys. I love this series so much. It makes me feel so many things. It is truly just amazing. If you haven't read it, read it. It's so good. I may love Blue, but I relate to Gansey the most of all of the characters. His obsessive nature, his like love for his friends and how he's like the mom friend and like a mother hen, his penchant for academia and his aesthetics. He's described as an old man in a young body, which is something that I very much feel like kindred with. When they describe Monmouth, which, by the way, again, the settings in this book, amazing, just so good. But it says, and everywhere there are books. Not the tidy stacks of an intellectual attempting to impress, but the slumping piles of a scholar obsessed. And Adam just consistently alludes to Monmouth as looking on the outside, like Gansey looks on the inside, and that is something that I just love. Like, you guys know, if you watch any of my videos and you've seen some of the places I've lived in, that is something that I very much try to establish everywhere that I go. Like, that is something that's so important to me, is having the place where I live look on a physical level, like I look in my interior self. And for Gansey to have that, so much of Gansey is just intimately familiar to me, because I recognize so much of myself in him. His journal, for instance, on page 83, after Donnie had returned inside the restaurant, she flipped the journal back open. Now she had time to marvel at the sheer density of it. Even if the content hadn't immediately caught her, the feeling of the thing would have. There were so many of the clippings she'd noticed before that the journal wouldn't stay book-shaped unless tied shut with leather wrappings. Pages and pages were devoted to these ripped and scissored excerpts, and there was an undeniable tactile pleasure to browsing. Blue ran her fingers over the varied surfaces. Creamy, thick arts paper with the slender, elegant font. Thin browning paper with spidery serif. Slick utilitarian white stock with an artless modern type. Ragged-edged newspaper in a brittle shade of yellow. Oh my god, it's so good. It's just, like, page 84. More than anything, the journal wanted. It wanted more than it could hold, more than words could describe, more than diagrams could illustrate. Longing burst from the pages, in every frantic line, in every hectic sketch, in every dark printed definition. There was something pained and melancholy about it. That prose is spectacular. Just beautiful. It's just truly, like, an intelligent book. It really is. There's just so many iconic lines in it. Like, brilliant things are just said. Every other page just spat out like it comes naturally. And, like, lines like, "What fresh hell is this?" Gansey said pleasantly. Or, "Now she had both of Callow's eyebrows' interest. How do you feel about helicopters?" How do you mean? Ethically? As a mode of transportation. Faster than camels, but less sustainable. I can't express enough how much I recommend that you read this book. This is like coming home. This is like a comparison that many people will be like, what? That makes no sense. But this reads and makes me feel the same way that Stephen King's It makes me feel, which I know is such a peculiar, like, line to draw. But the friend group aspect of it, this, like, found family, this hometown that just claims you and holds you, it is so well done in this, and I cannot recommend it enough. I cannot wait to read Call Down the Hawk. I'm gonna go do it right now, actually. I hope everyone is doing really, really well. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!